Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Well, today I want to show you my first horseweed spindle of the year. And it may be a little bit harder to see it because it has this morning glory vine on it. I was on my way to the grocery store and happened to see it close enough on the side of the road. I jumped out, cut it off. So let's start peeling this morning glory vine off of here. Typically, it has all these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leaves near the bottom before it gets to the seed head. Typically, you'll find, I don't know, 1 to 2 feet of dead leaves right on the bottom. And these little leaf nubs that are left behind from breaking off the dried up leaves are great to grab the skin to get some good grip. You don't have to use spit on your hands or pine sap or any other sticky medium when you first start out, usually with a horseweed hand drill. So I won't try to break all of these green little leaves off because I want them to dry up just like these did, so they'll break off and leave that sharp little leaf nub. Let me show you the leaf nub. All of these leaf nubs along here. When you harvest a horseweed spindle, you got to remember it's going to shrink up sometimes up to 40%. So I definitely want to keep this end, and I'm not going to need this end, the upper end, that is way too small to start with. Another thing you'll want to look at on any spindle, horseweed or mullein, is how thick walled it is. If it's very, very thin walled, if it's under 1/16 of an inch thick on the walls, don't even waste your time. So it looks like we're over 1/16 of an inch on wall thickness. This should be a good one. But as this one's drying out, I'll go ahead and gently try to persuade this curve to go straight for me. So I'm gonna put this in the back glass of the Camry, and in probably just 3 days, depending on how much sun we get, we'll be trying this one out. All right, I just tried it, and my impatience got me. It wasn't dry enough. It only spent 2 days drying out. So I tried. I got 28 minutes of video, and I'm probably not going to show. And I went in the house to rest and dry off a little bit, and then I realized that although that fat end is not dry, I'll bet you this small end will work. I'll bet you this small end's plenty dry. So let me get set up and go ahead and try this end here. You want to be careful about cutting through a horseweed because you could break out the other side. So I cut half through one side and then half through the other side. And I like to scrape this outer coating off of it because, well, you can see that fiber right there. There's little fibers in that bark, and it tends to sweep away the dust that piles up on top of the fireboard. And I need that dust for when I get an ember, I dump that dust back down on the ember. So we don't need these little brooms, these little fibers sweeping all that dust away. So I scrape it off. And this is a good way to tell if there's any moisture left in it. It doesn't feel like there's moisture in it on this end. But when I scraped the other end, I could tell there was still moisture in it. I thought I could just force it to produce, but I could not. Then I like to take these sharp corners off and just chamfer them a little bit. Now let's see what we're going to do about the fireboard. I'm going for about a 1/4 inch, 5/16. All right. See if that's going to focus in for us. A little tiny end, about a 1/4 inch. And then the other end's about 3/8. Let's burn it in. All right. Horseweed on shortleaf pine.
And I didn't have to use ashes on this because of those leaf nubs that I told you about. I got plenty of grip on my hands. Troubling that I don't see any smoke yet. Ah, there's some smoke. Alright, finally got some smoke.
All right, this is my 3rd try with the small end of the spindle. Let's see if we can knock it out. That might actually be 7/16. Down to a 1/4 inch. Let's give it a try. another day of drying in the back of the car, and when I took it out and went to straighten it, well, we had a little straightening accident. Not to worry though. I believe that we can still make it work. Now, there's the divot that we ended up with last time. Let's go ahead and try it. Now, the difference in dew point between the last time and this time is only 1 point. Last time the dew point was 74 degrees, and today it's 73. And I believe the numbers that I put into the dew point calculator, which you can find online, the last time was 95 degrees at 51% humidity. That came out to a 74 degree dew point. And today we're just 1 dew point less, 73. That today is 86 degrees at 65% humidity. So I'm just anxious to go ahead and see if I can make this work, even though there's just 1 degree difference. So I still have not used any ashes, but if today's the day, you know, if these little nubs have worn smooth to where I can't get a grip, then of course I will go ahead and use my ashes. So much for the small end. Let's try this larger end now. Alright, let's go for the burn in. Smoke. I'm going to set you up right over here. Every time I do a bow drill or a hand drill, no matter how bad the odds are against me with humidity, with broken spindles, I just always feel confident that I can get it. And I still feel that way now. I feel confident that I'll be able to get this broke spindle to work, even though there's such high humidity today. Oh, it worked pretty easy. Very easily. That horseweed finally produced an ember. Let's see if we can make it go now. If I don't drop it on the ground, that is. All right. Now, is there enough bottom in there to do another one? I think there is. Let's try another one. That may be the highest dew point that I've ever made an ember in. 73 degrees. 70 is a struggle for me. 73 is awesome. And once again, it never would have happened if these materials wasn't so dried out from the back of the Camry. I realize that they're unnaturally dry, so, you know, it's really nothing to brag about when you get a set this dry to force an ember out of it. But let's see if we can get another ember. Oh, that drop of sweat almost got it. In high humidity, you're still going to have trouble with your tinder. But we made it work. Got a little bit of bottom left in that fireboard. All right, y'all. I appreciate you bearing with me through this long video. We'll catch you on the next one.